guys, the Redstone Wizard here again, bringing you another Redstone tutorial. This time, what I got for you is, well, version 3 of my log converter. This one is actually easier to build and easier to understand, and slightly more compact in some aspects. So let's take a look. Now, real quick, I am using barrier blocks right here. Only reason why is because they're invisible and they're immovable. And that's just so that you guys can see what's going on. Now this is set to the maximum speed. This is as fast as it can get. And the thing is, you could actually control this with only it only affects 2 of them. You can affect any number between, let's go 8. So 8 times, it will pull all 8 logs, breaking them. So yeah, that's how fast this thing actually is. And it has an auto reset function, so if required, you could actually just run it with a single one. But yeah, it will process no problems. Let's just break that just to look. Okay, yeah, so like I said, this system is running the same way as all. In fact, actually runs the exact same way as the previous version. That's visual glitch. But yeah, so what do you say, guys? Let's get to building this thing. Alright guys, I'm back. And like always, everything we need to build that is going to be in the shulker boxes, minus the command block setup. That's just strictly to be able to say which, just to visually show what's going on here. So let's take a look at what we need. Now, this is not in any specific order, but you're going to need 49 building blocks. You'll have to use a fair number of solid, so I just recommend just grabbing all solid blocks. 48 items of the whatever you're going to be farming. Usually this will go into a tree farm. You can have it multiples, but whatever can be pushed by a block and be detected by a redstone dust. 20 or 10, depending on how you build this, immovable blocks, but 10 of them have to be solid blocks. So you could actually take 10 of these and transfer them over into solid blocks if you're at the push limit. And that's only if you're at the push limit. 17 scaffolding, 22 droppers, 11 dusts, 11 sticky pistons, 11 comparators, 11 random blocks, 1 trapdoor of your choice. I'm just going to be using iron. 44 observers, 1 redstone torch, and 12 regular pistons. So take one of your blocks, place it at any point as long as you're able to get your whatever you're going to be using to transport from a high section into a 1 block wide from sideways, just like the right there. We're going to take and throw a piston on it, and we're just going to make a quick smart piston. So there. Torch. Make sure it's not on the block that the dust is on. The dust is next to the piston, and a solid block is next to there. Now, anytime a block goes there, it'll be pushed out, which is exactly what we need. So then from here, we are going to leave a 1 block gap. We're going to place a sticky piston there, and we're just going to go up and use all 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to put regular pistons pointing down off of those. This will allow us to push the blocks there. Next, grab your observers. And we're just going to do a simple little observer like that, all the way up. And then all the way up here. Because what this does is allow you to use the piston extending to push down these pistons, and it happens fast. So, and then depending on, like I said, if you're at the push limit when they reach right here, you don't need these pieces. You don't need the obsidian here. Well, that's when you can actually use a regular block here because it's at the very top. But these other ones, as long as you haven't reached the push limit, I recommend placing pieces of obsidian or crying obsidian there. Then here, same thing. This one doesn't need one there, but in a movable block, it doesn't matter what it is, just as long as it will not move. This one has to be powered. This one doesn't. But this has to be immovable. So next, we're going to take our block that we're going to be pushing right next to the pistons. We're just going to start and go all the way up to the very top of the obsidian. And we're just going to go out a few more just to be able to do this. I'm just adding a few extras because I know this is way more than what's needed. But this will put it in perspective for you guys. So all we have to do is just fill this all the way up. And one more. I'll leave that one down there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our solid blocks. We are going to place our solid blocks like this. Every single one gets a solid block next to it on both sides. Then, right here, actually right here, we're going to place, starting right where this piston is, we're going to leave a one block gap. We're going to place, going upwards, our pistons. We're going to place solid blocks in front of every single one of these. We're going to grab our droppers. And let's see. Oh, I got these ones in the wrong spot. These ones need to go on this side. All the way up with solid blocks on those. Then right in here, we're going to place a dropper pointing up. We're going to throw an item in. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm just going to duplicate that dropper. And then we can go away. And then here, same thing. On the tops of all of these, the faces of all of these, we're going to place our droppers going up. And then we're going to go and take droppers and put them going down. This is going to create an RS Snorlax, so keep that in mind when building this, that we are using a locking system. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to place a piece, a block right there. We're going to grab our observers, We're going to temporarily place one there, and we're just going to come right up in here, place it. And now, what we're going to do is just stack up, going pretty much the opposite, just the tops of all these droppers, they get powered by an observer one way. This was the most efficient way I found to do it, at least placement-wise. Okay, so now from here, what we're going to do is a little tricky. We're going to place a block here. Then we're going to grab our comparators. We're going to place a comparator there, there, and there. We're going to place a block. Block on the face of this. Comparator, comparator. Block on the face. Boom. Repeat. And then we are actually almost done here too. You just need to make sure that you get all of them powered. And there we go. That's set up. Now comes the easy part. This one I forgot to put in. So we need to make sure that they all have comparators, and then we're just going to fill this part in, making a line. These don't have to be solid, because there's nothing that's going to interfere with this dust. But those ones have to be solid. Those don't have to be solid. Anything the observer is touching has to be solid. Now we got that set up. So now whenever this gets pushed in, based around which ones get pushed in, we'll activate these comparators. And those comparators will extend these sticky pistons, and these sticky pistons will push out all at once. But because we're using immovable objects here, the pistons that can't move will stay there until they're able to move. So next step is we're just going to come over one. We are just going to create a small little gap here. We are going to grab our trapdoor, place the trapdoor here, grab your scaffolding. We're going to place one here, one here, one here. Make sure that when you do this, we just keep all of them going upwards until we reach the very top. And once you reach the very top, make sure that all the faces of these observers get sticky piston. Get scaffolding on them, because then that will block them. And yes, you can flip these around if you want. You just got to make sure that they power each individual, and that's it. Because this one I have it set up differently because it's that way. But it still works the same way, which is the whole point. Now we're going to create our reset system by placing a block here, going down one, from the corner, go down, and then we're just going to connect all of this there. And we're going to put dust all the way to there. There, that's the reset. So now if I take and throw some pistons right here, and I take and throw, let me grab some glass, and I just set this up to be able to process. Okay, so now we've got 2, 4, 5 going in. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 went out. Okay. So let's make it 6 now. Why? Because I feel like 6. That'll help if I put something there. And 6. Okay, so this is processing 11 block. This has processed 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, the delay between the reset and when it can get pushed in is actually 8 redstone ticks. So you can get it almost a stack, the stack of logs that we have here in about 1 second. It's 2 redstone ticks short, but it's still about 1 second. So if anything that you have produces more than a set of 12 in 8 seconds and 8 redstone ticks, this system will not work. And that's based around the information that I'm doing off of here, which is 8 redstone ticks to process before the full reset, and that is as fast as I was able to get it. Now, I hope you guys found this video useful and informative. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment section. Just make sure I recommend joining my Discord. Link that will be in the description. Special thanks to my Patreon. Judgment, thank you so much for your donation. If you want to support me, you guys can subscribe. But you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.